Okay, so we still have the issue with our speaker, so I will handle this conference. I will show you how to create plugins, how we can build some stuff to extend Matomo features and capabilities. So I am actually here in a local environment. As I said in the chat, feel free to come on stage, share something with me, to interact with the chats, because I have to create something for the remaining time. So actually, I will turn my Matomo interface in English so you can read everything, because actually it's in French speaking. And as you can see, just wait a few minutes, and I will handle plugin creation to lead you to create fantastic features. Okay, so I'm just reloading the page in order to get everything in English. Okay, so welcome on a fresh Matomo installation that actually is not connected to any traffic source, so any website, any application. I have these waiting pages that I can hide, and now I'm going to be able to see the dashboard. I have also my PHP Storm, which is my favorite ADE software to code, to develop in PHP. You can use any IDE you want, such as Codium, VS Code, or anything else. I assume that this Matomo instance is actually installed on my local web server using Git, which install a slightly different version of the Matomo you have in production. The Git Matomo version is actually, sorry, I'm switching between my screen. The Git version is actually a version that's made for development only, which is slightly different from the zip Matomo version that you can download from the website. So with the Git instance, I have PHP console, which can interact with the Matomo console using CLI, and I can make PHP console development enable development. I guess it's not written well. PHP console development enable development. I'm sorry for the wrong spelling. Okay, development mode enabled actually makes Matomo run a little bit slower because it has all the development tools enabled, and you can now use the console to create new plugins, to create fantastic stuff. Okay, so let's create a brand new plugin to see how it works. I will clear my my terminal. So you can just run PHP console generates double dots plugin, and then the terminal will ask you what's the name of the plugin you just want to create. So here we want to name our plugin Matomo Camp Demo as a plugin name, and you have a description, the fantastic plugin demo. Okay, the version number, we absolutely don't care right now. And as we can see, the plugin have been generated. So if we now go into the plugins folder inside your Matomo instance, and we are looking for Matomo Camp Demo, we have a plugin named Matomo Camp. I just remind myself that the name Matomo Camp Demo is quite a bad name because your plugin name can't contain Matomo trademark in its name. So as this plugin's name, I can build everything I want in local, but when I want to submit it to the marketplace, it will be disabled for me because the plugin contains the brand Matomo in its name, so it's totally forbidden. So you don't, you can't do that. But for the demo, it's not a problem for us. Okay, so now we can see what's have been scaffolded in this folder. So first, the plugin starts with a plugins.json file. In its plugin for JSON file, there is the full description of the plugins and informations that will be shown on the marketplace page. Okay, so if I go to plugins.matomo.org, I will show you Tag Manager Extended, for example. I will show you my screen. Okay, here is it. So all the informations that are provided below here in this area are coming from that file. So if you want to update any of those information here, you just have to set the value into the plugins.json file. Okay, so for the demo, we don't have to change anything, but be sure that here you are using a large Matomo version. So by default, it's your current Matomo version, but we are using technologies that are not recent, that are not really up to date. So we can just set 5.0.0 stable to handle all the 5.0.0 Matomo instance that can run this plugin. Okay, fantastic. Now we just have to decide what our plugin can do. This is a demo plugin, so I will show you how to create a page, how to create a tag, how to create many, many things, and the capabilities of the plugins API within Matomo. So our plugin is like a whole plugin that can do anything, okay? So there is not like a real goal for this. But I can show you many things. Here, we are in the second main file of the plugin, the plugin name.php file, which contain a class, which is called by the plugin name. And in it, we have several functions. By default, those functions are events listener and the associated function. So by default, as we create WordPress plugin or WordPress themes, we have to plug our functionality into hooks. Those hooks are called events in Matomo. And here, as you can see, we are looking for the cron archive.getArchiving API method for plugins hook. And when this hook is triggered within the plugin, we want to execute the getArchiving API method plugins for plugin function, which is just written there. So I can hook any function I want into the plugin lifecycle of Matomo and handle many, many functionality. We will use this functionality for embedding like style sheets of CSS, JavaScript files, to handle archiver cron system, to handle many, many things. But today, we will see what we are going to do with that. But for the beginning, I just leave it empty as we don't need any archiving cron system. Okay, cool. So I will take the Matomo documentation by default. Matomo plugin dev documentation. And we will see how to build a plugin. The first thing I want to is to create a brand new menu. So I just go into the develop section of the Matomo documentation, and I'm just looking for the menu. Here, I'm just looking for the console CLI line. So here it's generate double dots menu. Okay, so I can make PHP still at the base of the Matomo instance, not in my plugin folder. PHP console generate double dots menu. And now the CLI asks me, what's your plugin name? Okay, it's Matomo Camp Demo, right? As you can see, this line of code just generates a menu PHP file with that handle a class called menu. We have two pre-built functions, one for adding menu to the top menu, so which is located here in Matomo, and another one to add a menu in the admin area, which is located, as you can see. So my Matomo.local is very slow because of the development environment I'm handling here. So Matomo is very faster than that in production, but as I'm in a development environment, it's quite slow. You can add menu in this area, okay? So menu in admin system will be here, and menu in top bar will be here. as we are creating a brand new plugin, I will just add into the top menu. Okay, so this function can be removed or just let commented. I just uncomment the configure top menu function. Here, you can use this syntax to add translation within the menu. So the translation will start with your plugin namespace in translation file, then an underscore, and then the name you want to add. Translation is actually not defined in this plugin. So to simplify things, I just can say Matomo camp demo, which will be the text displayed in our URL. Okay, I'll just save it, reload my Matomo, and nothing will happen because I have to enable the plugin we just generated before. Okay, so you go to the administration, plugins, manage plugin, and then we are looking for Matomo camp. It's actually not. Why it's not written here, Matomo camp? It's Matomo camp demo. Okay, it's here. And now activate the plugin. So as the plugin is now activated, I guess it's still spinning. Okay, so yes, so the plugin is now activated. So if I just reload the page, we now have a Matomo camp demo menu accessible right there. So if I can click on it, there is nothing behind because we don't build anything as an action for that link. Okay. Action is handled by controllers. So you create a plugin. Within this plugin, we create a menu. This menu will allow us to access a page. To create a page, we have to create a controller file. So PHP console generates controller. That's your plugin name, still Matomo camp demo. And now we have a controller file. This controller file has by default an index method, which is like a home or index, like the default route, default URL for our plugin. And the menu here take a parameter that is URL for default action. So here is the name. This refers to the index method of our plugins. So if I'm looking here, it will return this value. As we can see in this function, we have a return, and then we return a template, which is called index, and we pass some variables, some values to the template. But actually, there is the template here. So if we look at the page we are looking for, so just refresh the URL. Yes, we have a brand new page that is accessible via the menu we just created before. If you are looking at the URL here, we have a module called Matomo camp demo and an action which is empty. Empty is equal to index. Right. So now we have templates within. We have a template folder that contains index.twig file. So we are able to code in Twig. Twig is the default render template plugin language, for Symfony in the PHP, but we can use it in Matomo as Matomo is built with Symfony. So there are many ways to handling pages like that. If you are front-end developer, you want maybe to create a new section. In this section, you want to create a card. In this card, you can create card content. And in this card content, you will make an H1, which is called card title. And here we just write the name of our page or the name of the plugin. So Matomo camp demo. Okay, let's see what happens. If we are reloading the page, we are now in a brand new page with the Matomo default style. Okay, we just generate a card with the gap, the padding, each generated by the card content. And then we have a title, which is defined by card title. Okay, you have to build everything. So like a tiny description to handle what we are doing on this page. Okay, great. So now this page will handle some functionality. So we have to imagine some things like a UI, a user interface, to let the user do something with our plugins. Okay. So generally, when we want to handle some stuff, we have to create a user interface to interact with. In the web, we have two ways of interacting with things: your mouse with clicking on a button, or your keyboard by entering some value into the Matomo into a form. Okay, so I have here a button that I can right click me in it and add some class to style the button as Matomo wants to. If I reload the page, okay, we now have a button. Let's add the right class in this button. It's slightly long, as you can see. Okay, so now we have a Matomo designed button. I know you don't have to add BR here, but we are not here to design stuff. Okay, we have a button. Now that we have a button, we can add an ID on it. Okay, so this will be our trigger, our anchor, though we want to select this button to handle actions that user can do. Okay, and with this button, we want to write some JavaScripts that will call our own plugin API file, etc., etc. So this is how we bring from a menu to a page to an action that would call an API that calculates some stuff that returning things. Okay, so we have the whole action within this plugin. Okay, so I now have my base HTML template, and we now have to handle that click and to call the Matomo API. So let's see how we can do this. For the plugin demo, I just want to write my script here, but obviously you can write your own script in a scripts file and register your script file within the plugins class. Okay, so you can create, here we have screenshot, but we can create a folder named assets or JavaScript, add your JavaScript assets in it, and then register the file into the Matomo Camp demo PHP plugin. Okay, so we have our script. To listen events on the button, we have to wait for the page to be ready. So we start by window, add event listener. We are waiting for DOM content loaded, and then we are running our own function. Okay, let's start. What do we need to handle that click? We need to locate the button on the page. So let button equals document.getElementById. Okay, what's the ID we want? We want to find the buttons that have the ID trigger on the page. Okay, we locate the button. Then what we want to do? We want to handle click on that button. So let's create a new listener, buttons.addEvents listener click that handle a function that actually is doing just a simple constant that say hello everyone. Okay, let's just try this line of code. I'm opening the Matomo, the Chrome toolbar to handle debug, and I'm just waiting for the page to finish loading. Okay, it's running. So now I can click, and as you can see, hello everyone is triggered in the console. Okay. So now we have to make an API call or to handle an API as Matomo wants to. So let's go back to dig into the documentation. So we've created a new plugin that have pages that can be accessed by menu And now we are looking for an API method. Okay, we are creating our brand new API method. So to start, we have to generate an API file. Okay, PHP console generates double-dots-API. What's your plugin name? It's Matomo Camp Demo. Okay, as you can see here, we now have an API file within the Matomo Camp Demo folder. If I open it, I have several information in it. But as you can see, we have many different ways to handle information. Okay, but we want to start with some basic information. So we just want to check the information, but I want to keep it simple. So I will copy that in my bookmark, and I will erase all the stuff that's remaining. Okay. So now I will keep it here, and I will just make sure that somebody entering this API will have access to the information we need. Okay, so we are not returning int for the moment. Returning some stuff. So here is the API method we want to call when the user click on the trigger button, which is written click me. Okay, we call this API method. We want to call it, I don't know, get custom information. Okay, we want to get custom information. As any information in Matomo, Matomo functions in the API will handle many details, such as the ID, such as the site ID, I guess. Maybe I want to find in the documentation what I'm looking for. Yes, that's absolutely not that. Okay, but I'm looking for, as you can see, I have many information, GitHub in my own repo. Such as, I don't know what we are looking for. We are looking for ChatGPT plugin, maybe could answer my question. And then you can go into the api.php file. Okay, what I'm looking for is this information. So I can handle ID sites, period, and dates, which are always provided when you call an API. Okay, so I have my default information. So when user will hit this API endpoint, they will send the ID sites, the period, and the date. If you only need the ID site, you can remove period and date, obviously. Then we want to, to verify that the user have an ID site, have the access, the view access for ID site. You can change view to admin access, to super user access, in the case that your plugin are doing like risky stuff or basic stuff. Okay. Then we have our data. You can create, manage data, collect data from the database, generate like reports data or anything you want. Your stuff is going to be here. So by default, I just want to handle an array. Okay. So my first name is Ronan, and my last name is funny, but it's real. It's Hello. Okay. So I just want to return those data. Okay. This data is whenever you want to do. You can make an API call from the internal Matomo API or from the external data sets as you want. Okay. Okay. The returning function is supposed to be int, but we want to return an array. Okay. So now we are completely we have complete this API function step. So now we have to call that API from the front end here. And what's funny is that Matomo bring an Ajax helper. So we can use Ajax helper here to handle Ajax requests within a secure way. So when you use Ajax helper, all the tokens, all the security stuff, all the headers are already set in this Ajax helper. So I actually am building a plugin that's called Python scripts. which already handle that API call. So I'm not reinventing many things. I will just grab this code and paste it here. So we are looking at what we can do with this. So our Ajax helper is just get a fetch function helper that can be set with the method. The method first part is the plugin name, such as Matomo Camp Demo. And the second part of the method, just after the dot, is the name of the function within the API. So here it's get custom information. Okay, so I just paste get custom information. And then we handle a response. So let's see in the console what the response have for us. Okay, I'm just reloading the page. And now if you click on the button, so I'm just cleaning up my console and I'm clicking here and nothing happened. Okay, so it just waits. Okay, so it works. As you can see in my console, I just have my API data sent through the API via an HTTP request to my front end. So here we are writing in a twig file some twig stuff as HTML and JavaScript, but I know that Matomo now handle perfectly Vue.js. And yes, you can create Vue.js plugins. I want to show you in github.openbox.chatgpt, as my plugin ChatGPT is actually built in Vue.js, and how it works differently. What's the difference between a twig template plugin file and a Vue template plugin file? So we all start with a twig template for real. So here in my index.twig, it's very low. I just have an entry point. Okay, this is where the Vue app will be built on it. So I create a new div, which have a Vue entry that's looking for a ChatGPT dot, the name of my Vue components. Those are optional parameters that I built specifically for that plugin. But you can start only with a div with Vue-entry, the name of the plugin, and then the name of your page. You know how to build a Vue plugin, a Vue folder within a source folder, and then I've made my own folder in it. I have a page and a component folder. Page folder will handle the page.vue component. So here is chat index page. That's just a div that handle a new component. Okay, and you have to follow a strict syntax. So first, you have to import define components, which is a method that allow Matomo to import plugins, to import Vue components into your Vue. Then you have to define what kind of components you are loading to implement within the same components. And as you can write Vue, you can just say your props, your data, your functions, your runtime cycle, etc., etc. And you can also handle style with less languages because Matomo is built with less language. Okay. Now we have a page that handle a component. My component lists are all in components. So I have several things on chat. So as you can see, the chat is based on chat message list and chat form. Okay, so let's see what the chat message list is. Chat message list is just an UL tag with chat messages in it and a chat loading indicator and an alert indicator, where the alert is loaded from core home. It's not a custom components I've built. It's a native Matomo components. So you just can import plugins, components, from core home. There are several components such as form inputs, form text area, buttons, alerts, modal, cards. There are like basic stuff to create plugin and to follow the Matomo UI rules. Okay, so you know, have seen how we can create Vue plugins. So the main issue here, I can't fix it, I don't know how to fix it, is to run the Vue compiler CLI on Windows. So I have a Windows and a Mac, but I can't develop with Vue.js on my Windows environment. I can write it, but I can't compile it. I can only compile it within a Mac environment or Linux environment for sure. But Windows environments, my Node.js version, my Python version, etc., won't match with what's actually required. So I downgrade my Node version to Node 16, which is written in the documentation, but there is no way to handle that problem. Okay, so let's continue with our classic Twig and vanilla JavaScript in our plugins. So now we have our action, and maybe you just want to output the value or write anything you want. So I just build a code and an ID of output in it. Okay, I just bring back my BR to handle some space. And now I can just let an output for document.get elements by ID based on the ID of the output. And now I can handle that information. I can say output.inner text is equal to response.firstName. And I guess here, when the page will be ready, okay, we have output here, we have a click button, and when I click on click me, actually it hits the API, grab the first name value, and paste the first name value in the page. Okay, so it works quite perfectly. So now we have a complete lifecycle of how you can create plugins that are accessible via a menu, that handle to the controller, that render a page, that have action on the page, that can call the API of your own plugin, that can build some stuff in it, and then throw back the results and handle the result and paste it or manage anything you want. So with this tiny plugin, we've just seen the basic of how you can create some new stuff. But now we are looking for something new. Okay, in the documentation, we have the ability to create some new reports. We have the ability to create some new widgets for the dashboard. We have the ability to extend the tag manager. And here we are looking for how to handle tag manager custom tag. Okay, which I guess will be very important for us, because tag manager is actually a huge feature with low base templates, and we need a tag manager to be more complete. Okay, so how can we now create a tag manager custom tag? As the tag manager will be set, I'm looking to handle new functionality to our plugin. Okay, I'm just clearing my terminal. So I can say console, PHP console generates tag manager dash tag. Now, okay, so maybe I just make a mistake in my generate API archiver system. Okay, it's because the plugin is still not enabled yet. Okay, so we have to enable the plugins first. I hope so. The recording are above 720p, but I don't think so. Okay, yeah. If you want me, I thought the plugin name, it's Matomo Camp Demo plugin tag. So we are creating a demo tag. Alors, how can I zoom in into my PHP Storm interface? I guess it's in settings, but I can do it with a simple click and roll the mouse. New UI, many system settings. I don't think that I can easily zoom in. Okay, XP zoom. Okay, I will zoom in 150. Okay, it's slightly bigger, but I think you can now see everything. Okay, perfect. So I've just typed, okay, it's very big now. I just add the PHP console generate ..tag manager -tag command line in my terminal. And now in the plugin, I have a new folder that is called template. And within the template folder, I now have a tag. Okay, let's see. Every tag for the tag manager now have two separate files. One file is PHP file for how you build the Matomo UI, okay, Matomo administration of this tag. And now the JS file is to handle the logic of your tags. Okay? So what kind of stuff do you want to do on the browser of your users, okay? So let's see what we can do now. If we go to the tag manager, we can create a new container. Okay, let's start. Container is very slow. Okay, we are just now creating, we are using the default container, okay? And let's see if we have like more tags in our tags list. I'm just going to tags, and then, okay, it's quite slow, as I told, in development mode. So we are now in the tag list, and I create new tag, and as you can see, here we have the default tag, and our demo tag is actually shown in the list. Okay, there is still no image, no description, not in the right category, but we have our demo empty tag. The first thing you can do is to change values here, so name, description, help, etc. But I don't recommend it to change because the name, the description, and the help information tags are language internalization handled. So we have to change it in the lang en.json file and change the value in here, okay? This is the Matomo camp demo tag, okay? Demo tag, we can change the value we want, and some help or hints. Okay, the information provided here will be shown here, and in a blue question mark at the end of the line. Right. So now let's deal with the other functionality we have. So our tag is in a category, okay? Category means ads, analytics, custom, developers, social, other, okay? We now have to choose what our tags will do. As we are a developer right now, maybe we can store in development, but we can store in any of this category. We just have to erase category custom and say category. And as you can see, there are many categories here. So social, other, email, developer, affiliate, ads, analytics, remarketing, or custom. If you want, you either can return a custom value, such as Matomo Camp. And if I'm refreshing the page, we are waiting for the information to be up to date. So now it's not in custom, it's in Matomo Camp custom configuration, okay? And the demo tag is just right there. Perfect. So we just have to set an image. You see Matomo camp.image folder. So we don't have any image folder /icon/image.svg. Just add your own image. It's quite easy. I don't want to show this because we have less time. So now we are able to create some custom fields to be able to edit the information that are being shown in the UI for administration. So every time you want to create a new field here, we are requesting like a specific ID. So Matomo camp ID. The default value will be 5. We want to return a string, and then we have the field configuration. So by default, it's full of translation, but we don't want to handle translation as it's long for today, but you have to handle translation when you create a plugin. Okay. So the title will be Matomo camp ID, and the description, the Matomo camp ID. Okay. What the field can handle? Should your field handle variables, or should your field be able to be specific? Okay, so by default, when you want the people to enter a string or a numeric value or a keyboard value, just let the default field tip. Okay, because you don't know if the user want to interact with the field using variables or using a hard-coded string. And then you can just set a validator. So let's see what's in our tag. I will just refresh the page to be sure that our changes will be effective. Okay, so we have a demo tag. Within the demo tag, we have a new field, which is called Matomo Camp ID with the ID of 5 by default and the description within. We can now replace the value with any variables we want in the variables list, okay, such as a click class, click button, etc., etc. Okay, so we have an ID. We can create many fields here. You just have to copy and paste. And if you want to have Matomo Camp ID, Matomo Camp day, I think the value by default is Monday, and now it's Matomo Camp day and Matomo Camp day. Okay, so just reload the page and see what's happened. Okay. There will be Matomo demo tag, Matomo ID, Matomo day. It's Monday. Okay, perfect. If you want, you can create like drop downs with several values within it. You can have multiple selectors. You can have whenever you want. If you are looking for how we can do this, keep in mind that the Tag Manager extended plugin that I've built covers almost every kind of fields you can use, such as int, strings, arrays, multiple selectors, etc., etc. So if you are interested in, you can go into my GitHub account, which is github.com/openmost/tag manager extended, and you have all the tags and all the capabilities here. Okay, so the PHP file is now done with what we want to do. We have two fields, Matomo Camp ID and Matomo Camp Day. So now let's dig into what we are going to do here. The first thing I do is to remove everything between 5 and 23 line, because we want to code our own logic. Okay, so we have variables. We want to name it Matomo Camp ID to get things done. Okay. This is just a casual PHP storm freezing. Okay, now it's done. And here we want to get the value of the Matomo Camp ID field we just registered here. Okay, we registered a field that's called Matomo Camp ID, and we access the value using the parameter .get function. So we have to do the same for Matomo Camp Day. And we can now run any kind of JavaScript we want to. So if you just want to run a console log or a fetch method or any kind of stuff you want, you can just write things here. So your own JavaScript vanilla stuff here. So we just want to say a console log that logs the Matomo Camp ID and the Matomo Camp Day. Okay, I know this is not relevant because it's like basic stuff, but you have the full way, the full path to create wonderful tags. Okay, you just have to enter to create a new plugins, to set console generate tag manager tag line of code, and then to fill this, which is very simple, as you can see. If you are like a bit beginner, you can copy or paste code from repo GitHub, from ChatGPT, from anything you want. This is just the slightly hard part. And then you can collect the information within the database using those two methods, and you can build your own stuff. So basically, why should we handle this kind of information is to extend the tag manager. So extended Now we have the logic. We can see what's have been done here. So we have like several templates, okay, templates like tags, and we have all those tags that have been made. So let's take some of them. If we want to, I don't know, we will see something like, I'm looking for relevant information without showing my customers' data, which is not that simple. But let's see. Okay, let's see. There is a github.com openmost data layer sync repo. Okay, data layer sync, which is a tiny script that handle the synchronization between Google Tag Manager and Matomo Tag Manager. Okay, this is basically a script you want to deploy in your website for every page, etc., etc. That's totally the case that we want to handle in a tag manager. So the basic here is just grab the script you want to. It could be a script from a third-party CRM, third-party tracking analytics tool, like a Hotjar, like Simple Analytics, etc., etc. Okay, just grab the code you want to handle in your new custom tag. Okay, I'm copying that, and then just paste it here. Okay, we just paste the code we want to handle here. And if you want, if you have like some IDs, some parameters, some informations you want to add to modify from the code, you can just use the variables you define at the top of the screen to handle variation. Okay, so by default in Google Tag Manager, data layer is called data layer, but just imagine that you can change the name because GTM allows you to change the name of the data layer object. So you can have by default a field in your administration that handle custom data layer variables name, and you just grab the information here and paste it here. And yes, you have like fully wired plugins that match all your needs. So I'm looking for the time. Actually, it's just 4 minutes remaining before the next conference. So I'm glad to see if there is any question. I'm seeing that the Nora just say it's a casual PHP brain freeze. Yes, yes, but it's not a brain freeze. It's a PHP stone freeze. So I know what I would like to write, but my IDE just say stop it for a few seconds. But yes, of course. Thank you for everything. If you want to know more about plugin developments, of course, there is the Matomo official documentation, which is quite hard to handle. The best way is to read community and core Matomo code. So how I learned to build plugin is by reading all of those stuff, not all of them, but by reading information in it and to get the logic of Matomo plugins. As I showed previously, I have a website where all the stuff I've made is completely free, completely open source too. So if you want to look at one of those plugins, you can just pick it like, oh, I just want to know how you can handle weather information into your Matomo. And then you can go to the official Matomo marketplace, and then you will have all the screenshots, the documentation, FAQ, etc., etc. And if you want to know how it's built, you just have to click here on GitHub, and you will be redirected to the official GitHub repo that allow you to create any custom plugins you want. Okay. So I hope this talk will help you creating more plugins, more stuff for the community. It's very grateful to create something. As I told you, I have many plugins in the marketplace, all for free, but I have many downloads. So here is like 5,000. But if you click on more from this developer, I have several plugins I've made for the community. The most popular one is ChatGPT, which actually have almost 30,000 downloads, which is very important. And I've also made some themes. And in the themes here, I've one of the most favorite themes, such as the dark themes. And as you can see, it's been downloaded much at 30,000 downloads too. One of the most difficult things is to maintain stuff. I only create plugins that I already have, or that so that I want to have for my own or for customers, that brings me active to the maintain. But it's quite long, as you have many plugins. And of course, you are welcome to contribute to create new functionality, to report some bugs, etc., etc. So if you want to join the community, just select the GitHub repo of the plugin you want to, and you can create a new issue. As you can see here, last month, there is somebody that have an issue with ads conversion tags within Matomo Tag Manager, but the issue here is not caused to the plugin, is due to the Google registrations that have changed and is now fully handled in the new Tag Manager version. So I can respond and close the issue. But community helps creating good stuff. Thank you so much, and I will let the scene free for our new speaker in few minutes. Thank you.